In just a few minutes, this seat will be occupied by one of YouTube's most preeminent voices. He's a cultural critic and a philanthropist with a dedicated army of subscribers, and most recently, we've become friends. Make It Make Sense started his YouTube channel of the same name at the height of the pandemic by using the platform as a visual diary. Through fundraising for those going through tragedy and loss while dealing with some of those same issues, he found breakthrough and perspective. At the same time, his fans found the same. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers, super chats, public appearances, shoots, and other special projects later, this cultural czar is sitting down with me to talk about how he got here, his brand of responsible content creation, and of course, minding the business that pays him. I'm James R. Sanders, award-winning journalist, author, and host of The Big PayBLACK. This episode is sponsored by Hey Hostess by Marie.
That's you. That's for me, baby. Just make sure you rise above all this madness out here. Mind elevation, man.
I'ma get mine. This is The Big PayBLACK.
You're an ill nigga. I like your style, son.
I feel like I've been blessed with so much at this point in my life that
Like what? Money, fame, fortune, what? I mean, we the people want to know.
I feel like I've been blessed with my life. We'll leave it at that. I'm not supposed to technically be here. I'm not the person.
What does that mean?
I was in corporate America just a couple years ago.
Right.
So
We know that, right?
I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. So
Okay.
I don't feel like I would be complete if I also did not give back. Plus, my mother really instilled that in me. At a very young age, she had us volunteering. So
Where? Doing?
I'm not going to say all of the projects that she had us doing, but I can tell you the one that I had to tap out on. My mom was working with the Ronald McDonald House weekly. There's a program there that allows people to cook for the parents of the kids that are there being treated for cancer. So you would cook and kind of like congregate with them on Saturdays. So she would make all this food and then spend time with them. So she really wanted me to do that with her. And I did it a few times and I just could not do it consistently. That was so hard to see these families with these children who are so innocent and sweet and are just going through something medically that nobody would understand unless you have actually been through it. And I couldn't take it. That was the one time that I really had to like tap out of like giving back because it was too much emotionally. So I always really commend my mom for doing that as long as she did because I couldn't do it.
Why do you think it was so important for your mother to give back? You know, there's the saying, to whom much is given, much is required. Why growing up was that such a foundational piece of your upbringing? And of course, I know your mother could probably answer that better, but just from the outside looking in, why do you think that was a major piece of your childhood and your siblings' childhood?
She would be better to answer that, but I can tell you it probably stems from being raised in the church.
Okay.
So like my mom was cleaning toilets and, you know, taking care of the kids during the summer if she didn't have a job that summer. So my grandmother instilled very strong religious values in us, but growing up in Louisiana, it was much more of a sense of community. So you knew all of these kids' parents, you knew all of the kids. It was a small community, and I literally grew up in a town where they were still separated. Blacks and whites were still separated by a train track. So, you know, none of us had money. None of us had anything other than strong foundations from our parents. So giving back just was natural. So even when we moved to like a big city, she still gave back. And we did not grow up with the silver spoon. Once we were in a large city, we still did not have anything. We really just had each other. She didn't get a job where she made a certain amount of money. I won't say the amount until I was like well into adulthood. She worked extremely hard, and that just eventually paid off for her. But
So you're from Louisiana, and your mother, she comes from the church. Your grandmother instilled in her, through her upbringing in the church, this kind of giving back mentality. I'm working on a story right now about the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. How did that giving back kind of background come into play where Hurricane Katrina, especially now, with the 20th anniversary, how did that come into play for your family specifically in terms of how you were impacted, if you were impacted, where Hurricane Katrina is concerned?
so I'm not from New Orleans, but I can't tell you that hearing that word does not like cause everyone from Louisiana to kind of like have a deep breath. Like
Okay.
even today, it still is like
20
it
years
takes
later.
it takes you right back to those moments. So what we did was we adopted like several families who were impacted. Anytime that there's like kids involved, especially like infants, we do a call to arms. So we adopted like several families, spent time with them, visited them, provided like diapers, food, resources, anything that they needed to get back on their feet. And it was a really horrible experience for so many people from that area because they were just moved to large cities all around the US. People don't know that. People just think that, I guess, everybody was just taken to Houston. I think that's the concept. No, they literally had trailers up and down Louisiana, and they just moved people into trailers. It wasn't like New Orleans was filled with so many affluent people. A lot of these people did not have the ability just to go back. There was nothing to go back to, and they didn't have insurance, and the government really just did not seem to care. So they moved them to major cities all over the US with no way to get them back home. And
Was there a racial element to that, in your opinion?
absolutely.
Okay.
The one thing that Kanye said that I still agree with was George Bush did not care about black people in that moment. Haven't agreed with them since, but yeah.
Okay. Shifting gears for a little bit, your entry into YouTube, which is how people know you now, started based on you trying to get a job interview. You needed to record answers to interview questions during the pandemic. Is that correct?
That's true.
Okay. Tell us about that.
I do not like the way I present on camera.
Why?
It's not my thing. I was always that person who, if somebody says to take a photo, I would be the one that wanted to take the picture. That's always just been me. We're very different in that way. If I'm in a picture with James.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Now, see, what do you mean we're very different in that way? So not too much. But what do you mean?
If there's a camera, James is going to take center. Yes.
Okay, but so
I posted a photo of James and some of the other people that we considered new media, and people were asking me on my photo that I posted, well, who's that? People wanted to know who James was and what James was wearing. Nobody asked me who I was wearing. They wanted to know who James was
well,
wearing.
they already know who you are. It's your page, right? Why would they ask who you are? You posted it on your page.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, James knows how to take a picture and make a moment.
Well, back to you and the question at hand. How did you get the entryway into YouTube based on the interview questions and the job interview? How did that come to be and why?
So during the pandemic, they would literally give you questions, give you a certain time frame, and then say return the questions by this date. So you had your interview questions, which should be easy, like an open book test, but for me, it took like 8 hours. And so I had a friend who had a YouTube channel. Shout out to Shan. She had around like maybe 500 subscribers. And she said, come on my channel. We'll get you acclimated to being in front of the camera. And I was like, I did it. And midway through, she dropped down. So if I did not speak to her subscribers, it would have been dead air.
Okay.
And I always say that was the moment that started my channel. Soon after that, she told me to create my own channel. I did get the job.
Okay,
I
good.
did get the job, but
you got the job.
I got the job.
What were some of the questions?
Oh my gosh.
You have to remember, it started all of this. One of the questions? Any of the questions?
A question was like a simple one, like, please describe yourself and why you would be great for this job. And even though technically I could say, well, you know, I've worked in this field, I've done procurement, I've done accounting, I could say the technical aspects, but when I watched it back, I did not like the way that I represented. I did not like the way I presented on camera.
So now you've done several videos, obviously, you know, you just run your you just yap, you kiki, cat, all of that. But you don't watch, not, again, not too much. But you don't like to watch yourself back. Is it true that you don't watch any of your videos?
I do not.
Why? Again, is it because you just don't like to watch yourself?
For the record, the content that I put out, I'm proud of. So it has nothing to do with the value of the content. It's just, I still don't like the way I present on camera.
Are you gonna watch this back? You will watch this back. If you don't watch this back, it's gonna be Biggie versus Tupac. You will watch, right. You keep scrunch your face up.
Pick people that are still alive. Like.
Well, one of them died first and one of them died second. So.
Well, Biggie is still my favorite rapper.
One of us lives in New York. One of us doesn't. So one of
I
us
technically do live in New York.
One of us is big and one of us isn't. Just because you got that New York head on doesn't mean anything.
Both of us technically live in New York. I could file taxes.
You getting ready to fly back. You getting ready to fly away. I got the ID that says NYC.
I'm about to have a Southern District of New York press pass.
One of us already has one. Right. What's been the biggest challenge for you when navigating the YouTube space?
Not pissing people off. I don't I don't technically really hold back, and sometimes I name names. And
what does that mean?
Just what I said. I will name a name if I'm talking about somebody.
Name names in terms of other YouTubers, in terms of, like, say for instance, if you're talking about how you think someone is doing the wrong things in the media or politics or reality TV or celebrities or all of the above. What do you mean?
I would definitely say all of the above. And you would be surprised because when you get accustomed to doing these things, when you see 50, 100, 200, 500,000 views on a project, it's still just me and my laptop. So there's not really a correlation to how many actual eyes have been on you for that particular video. So I'll just be talking, giving my honest opinion, and then the person will reach out to me because they're angry. Or an attorney will reach out to me because the person is angry. And it's like, I had no idea.
Like who?
Okay, so My mom did not know that I did YouTube, did any kind of commentary. So I'm at her house and I receive a call from Kelly Price.
Kelly Price? Okay, we like Kelly Price around here.
No,
Not too many people do, but you know we like Kelly
love
Price.
Kelly Price. What are we? Yes.
A lot of people get angry with Kelly because you know Kelly went missing at one time.
Okay. Well, I
You can see-
don't know what he's talking about. I like Kelly Price, and
Okay.
not just because she went off on me, but yeah, Kelly Price was not necessarily pleased with some of my coverage
In reference to
her.
like R&B divas or what?
I think it was involving what you just mentioned, like something about her relationship.
Her
think,
going missing.
I think that was the topic.
Oh,
I
okay.
had no idea that.
How'd she get your number?
She Instagram called me.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I knew it was Kelly Price, and I was like, I didn't even think, oh, I've just made a video. So she was not pleased at the beginning of the call. Kelly Price is no punk, but
she's not.
But by the end of the conversation, we had like a meeting of the minds, and she actually like prayed for me. But I'm literally at my mom's house.
Kelly is very anointed. Kelly is heavily anointed. Y'all need to stop really playing with Kelly. Kelly is heavily anointed.
I'm a big fan of Kelly, so you know, I gave my commentary. I appreciated her reaching out to me to set the record straight on some of the things that had been put out about her in the media. I appreciated the prayer, but it was my mom doesn't know what I do, so now I'm on the phone in front of her with Kelly Price without letting her know I'm on the phone with. It was.
And what did your mom say?
She had no idea who I was on the phone with. She just thought it was a.
So when you hung up, what did you tell your mom?
Let's go get some food. I pretended like it didn't happen.
You pretended like it didn't happen.
I pretended like it didn't
So you lied
happen.
to your mama. And everybody know if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll kill.
It's not a lie if you just don't go into.
So it's a lie by omission.
If that's how you want to put it.
Isn't it what it was? Mm-hmm. Okay. So your sister was having health issues at a time when the world was having health issues during the pandemic. You were her caretaker. Did you see YouTube as a visual journal of sorts to, even though you weren't necessarily describing or even talking about personal things, as almost like an escape of sorts to kind of use it as an outlet to even just vent or not even deal with the things that you were dealing with in real life?
Just one correction to that. I was one of 3 caretakers. So my mom
my
mom and my older sister were also her caretaker.
Yes.
It was around the clock. I was working a very, very, very demanding corporate position.
Right.
In addition, and YouTube did become like my little getaway. And the dumb things that I was like talking about and became like something that my sister who was sick could kind of like have a moment of levity as well. If we didn't know what was going on, and for anybody who's ever dealt with complications from COVID, it is extremely scary because some of these illnesses that come from the complication aren't named. So it was a really difficult time. I've never, outside of my grandmother, when she passed away, actually had to take such an active role in somebody's like, to be a member of a care team. This was a lot scarier because my sister is young. YouTube became, and let me tell you, it was literally the Tamika, Tiny, Candy, Queens of R&B?
Oh yeah.
It was during that
Don't forget
time.
Natasha.
Her too. It was during that time.
Why are they always doing Latasha? Like, I don't like how y'all do Latasha. I don't like how y'all do singing Latasha. Now, we're not talking about the money. We're talking about the voice.
We weren't talking about the voice. We were talking about the show.
Y'all have to stop doing Latasha like that.
Nobody questions the fact that those 4 women, you know, had an impact on
That's
R&B.
right, the 4 of them.
Nobody questions
The
any of that.
4.
But the behavior on that show was janky from her? Your favorite, I guess.
It was all of them really.
It really
because
was.
Candy was a little nasty too.
You
Okay.
really got to work through your issues with Candy.
I don't have an issue with Candy.
You
I
really
love
need to-
Candy. I love Candy as an entrepreneur and as a writer. Her pen is unmatched. Candy's pen is unmatched. Candy is an anointed writer.
So yes, me and my sister.
And she can make money. I really want her to try to help me. Listen, Candy, everything you touch turns to gold. Come over here and help me.
So yes.
Listen, okay, but that Latasha, she sings.
So does her sister.
I didn't say her sister couldn't sing.
Her sister's actually my favorite singer in the
Her sister can sing.
Thank you.
Now the sister can sing. All right, that waist train is holding on for dear life, but the sister can sing. All right, but that Latasha, woo, that Latasha, them vocal, the anointed.
She does have a good 90s run. Tamika is actually now like my friend.
Very nasty. This is very nasty. Very nasty. Now see, you can't win when you dirty. Same people you meet
Nothing
going
dirty
up, you
over
see
here.
them coming down.
Sorry.
So watch them feet.
So yes.
Watch them feet.
That was actually the time that my sister was sick, but we would watch the show like everybody else was, and my commentary was apparently spot on, and that kind of like resonated with people.
But everybody forgot about SWV. Oh no, wait. Okay, that was the first one that they did
No, this
when
was
they
the
were first getting. Okay, so it was the one with SWV.
Yep.
Right, because really, Coco was better than all of them.
Shout out to Coco, who just gave me a shout out.
Coco Clemens. Now that Coco Clemens.
No, she did get my name wrong, but I knew what she was talking about.
You
and
can't
I
win when you dirty.
and I
Coco
appreciate it.
Clemens was better than all. Now Coco, you want to talk about a church voice?
No, I love Coco's voice.
Now Coco,
I don't think SWV gets the credit that.
because I didn't like how. Now I didn't like how they. Now I didn't like how Escape was talking about how they were going close. Weak is.
I mean,
We got to keep it real. Because
like,
I know you. I know you got your little friend.
I like both.
I know you got your little friend.
I like.
I know you got your little friend. But Weak, you can't compete with Weak.
I really like my secret, my little secret.
Because that song's about cheating.
I really like that song. Yeah.
I know you like all them songs
But
about
my favorite song out of,
infidelity.
no, I do. But my favorite song is "Who Can I Run To." Like that is timeless.
Yeah,
That's
the one
timeless.
Latasha leads.
Well, when they perform it live, I think Tamika leads it now. But that's neither here
Because
nor there.
Latasha's not there.
And sometimes when people, they grow, their voices grow. I actually went viral. Like I went ultra viral for the first time on Instagram, reposting a clip of Tamika singing lead. And that
I remember when Coco sang that song.
But before
Coco
we
was on it.
move to that, let's live in that moment. I went ultra viral just reposting a live clip performance of Tamika singing lead on that song.
Tamika sings down.
Yeah, she's really good.
Tamika sings
And that's not just because she's my
down.
friend. It's
Okay, that's not just because? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Tamika sings down. Tamika sings down. Her voice is incredible. Tamika has always sang. Ain't nobody denying that. Tamika can sing for real. So that's on period. Tamika and Latasha have always been incredible. Them girls, them two, incredible. And I remember when Tamika got pregnant in the group and Latasha said, if you try and kick my sister out, you gotta lose me too.
And before we move on, I
Okay,
just
you
want
want to say something else about your friend?
No,
Okay.
about both.
Okay, you want to
So-
add about your friend? Okay, go ahead.
I actually am pretty cool with her father as well.
Oh, okay.
And I'm extremely happy that the door is open for communication between both of them and how they
okay.
worked it out. Because at the end of the day,
Oh, amen. We're going
They-
to talk about the residuals?
at the end of the day, we
The day gotta end.
have to acknowledge that they're family. And my hope is that they all come to a meeting of the minds
Right.
and they can connect
Yeah, the mind's got to meet. And also at the end of the day, it's none of our business.
It's not.
Yeah. What's been the most controversial topic, celebrity issue that you've covered on Make It Make Sense, would you say? Outside of Tamika and Latasha.
I would actually say the Diddy topic. That gets such a visceral reaction from people, more than I ever expected. Although there was like a lot of love, there was a lot of hate in the way that I chose to cover.
Why?
Diddy. Well, I've been covering Diddy now for, it feels like around maybe coming up on 2 years. And there are very staunch opinions about this man on both sides. And although I try to give an unbiased opinion, I acknowledge that I don't like him. People are very up in arms because people want you to like what they like and they want you to like who they like. And when you don't, it can be a problem. And with my subscribers specifically, I always tell them I'm not above reproach. So a lot of them try to like check me on it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into that in a minute. Why do you think your subscribers relate to you and to your channel in the way that they do?
I think I've been honest about my shortcomings. I've always told them I'm not above reproach. I'm not above going back and correcting something that I said that needed to get corrected. And I feel like a lot of other content creators have such a strong opinion that their opinion is the right opinion, that if somebody were to say something contrary to that, they might get blocked.
What was one time where you had to get checked or corrected?
Okay, so
Since you brought it up.
I won't name a name of this particular reporter, but I really do appreciate her. She reached out to me a few weeks ago and she said, I have a friend who is an actor who is very upset with you. Apparently, a publicist watches me pretty religiously, and his name was very similar to one of the names of one of the Diddy Cassie sex workers. And when I named him, the publicist reached out.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and she was like, she reached out to him on my behalf and was like, I actually know him now, and he does not have, he's not that person. So then he reached out to me, but even before that, I was like, well, let me look into this, let me correct it. And then he reached out to me and told me how much he appreciated how quick I was about the response. And I actually have to reach back out to him. I've had a lot going on, but I that was a moment that just recently happened. But I'm never above coming out and giving a retraction or having the person reach out like Kelly did to me and having a conversation with them. He did tell me though, you did not read my email and it's best that you don't. Moving forward.
Did you read the email?
No, I didn't read the email.
Oh, he probably threatened you.
Well, there are some things that...
Are you going to read the email?
No, because now I have his phone number and, you know, we can text. And
Okay.
so I do think that we're probably going to have a pretty, like, decent relationship moving forward. The fact that he even told me not to read the email with, like, some levity, I appreciate.
That means you should probably read it.
I'm not reading the email.
Send it to me. I want to read it.
I'm not reading the email.
Send it to me.
No, I'm good.
Send it to me. What's the responsibility element attached to Make It Make Sense? Meaning, why are you so serious about reporting responsibly in a way that's different than how a lot of other YouTubers just don't care? As a journalist, I've gone through communication law classes, media ethics classes in order to get my bachelor's degree. And then getting my master's degree, I've had to go through some of those classes as well. It gets hammered in us that there's a responsibility that comes with reporting the news. Content creators, it's different. You know, that responsibility is not present. Why is it important to you?
Let's stick to the Diddy trial for that question. It was very important for me to give an unbiased opinion of what was going on in court because I know that so many survivors like watch me, and I did not want to give some of them a false sense of hope. If I had been reporting, you know, how great the prosecution had handled this, then when the verdict was read, they probably would have been crushed because it would have been like, I had no idea this was coming. It was extremely important for me to give an unbiased opinion on what was going on in the court every day because I did not want that to happen. I'm on the phone constantly with sexual assault survivors, so that's where the responsibility comes from. Don't get me wrong, I love to do like silly shows like the Queens of R&B and stuff like that and talk about things that are, you know, trending, but for this specifically, I do feel a sense of responsibility to those sexual assault survivors who watch me and support me.
Okay.
And argue with me daily on...
Not daily.
Yeah, daily.
In your interview on award-winning journalist Jerika Duncan, hey Jerika, Duncan's podcast, I Am That Reporter, you said, I love when it's fun. Let's get into your business a little because you like to keep it private.
I do.
But when we the
Smartly.
people want to know, when is it not fun?
It's not fun when you realize it's a job. So there's days that I do not want to go on. There's days that I'm having a really horrible day or I'm sick or a family member is sick. And my job is technically escapism for my viewers, who I very affectionately call the straight shooters. Shout out to Wendy Williams giving us that name. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's a responsibility. So although I share when personal things are going on with me, at the end of the day, people are there to escape some of those things that are difficult that they're experiencing. So I have to kind of like put on a performer's face sometimes and do my show.
Okay. What's the ugly side of YouTube and when did you first discover it?
The lies. The lies is the ugly side of YouTube. What did Candy say? The lies. Oh, sorry. The lies. Yeah. That's the ugly side of YouTube.
Candy.
Okay, so now I see the ugly side of YouTube and I see the ugly side of legacy media.
Me too.
The people can turn their camera on and make anything up.
Yes, they can.
I will say that I have been working with potential managers and potential publicists, and I will be coming up with some projects that relate to some of the liabilities that come with what we as new media do. I did not realize that some of the advice that I give in this space, so many different people take to heart. And we would literally be in the courtroom.
How did I get in it?
We would
How did I get in it? I don't know if I want to be in it. Why do you keep using the Diddy trial as an example?
Well, because I'm here for the Diddy trial. We would be in the courtroom and somebody might leave and come out and say that Young Miami entered the courtroom.
She wasn't there, child.
Knowing full well that she was not there.
She was not there, child.
That's a silly example, but what a lot of new media content creators don't understand is, let's say you go ultra viral for something. There are liabilities involved in that. Like, I know my rights because I have access to attorneys, but everyone doesn't. So I want to work on developing some protections for new media, which will also give them some information on protecting yourself so you don't need those protections. I've been talking to a manager about that.
Okay. Maybe there's an ebook in your future. We don't know. All right, so why are you so private? Do you feel like everybody wants to know about you? Do you feel like you just this, like, I don't know, secretive person and everybody's trying to be all up in your business? Because really, MIMS, and for those of y'all that don't know, we call him MIMS, but really his real name is Fool.
No, nobody's ever called me that. That's one thing nobody's ever said about me. No, I think that
Do you think everybody want to know about you, Mims? Because
I don't want to know about
is that
me.
the case? Like,
No.
do you think you walking around like this big enigma, like that the people just, like what? What is the what? Why are
I
you
didn't
so
think
private,
that I was an
Mims?
enigma. I think that more people
Wrapped up in an anomaly, like what?
an enigma wrapped up in
In an anomaly. Yeah. What? Like, what is it?
What is it? Wasn't that like
You know what
that
it
was
is.
like
Don't
a
try to
tagline?
analyze what I have to say.
I'm an enigma wrapped in a riddle and
Well,
cash.
make sure in cash.
That was a tagline.
Okay, but you make sure you credit the source. But at the end, because I know how you YouTubers
That
like to lie.
tagline
I know how you YouTubers like to lie.
And the
But
legacy
at the end of
media.
the day, that's true too, child. I'm with you when you
And
right.
the legacy media.
I'm
yeah.
with you when you right. I'm not always with you when you white. But at the end of the day,
No, I don't think that so many people want to just know about me, but I do think that in this space, one of the first things that I learned is the more that you put out about yourself, the more that people will use against you.
that's true. That's true.
I was a YouTube follower for years before I ever started my own channel. And there is a section of YouTube called the beef sector. And so I'll never forget this. One of my YouTube friends, his name is Gabor. He said there was
like Zsa Zsa Gabor,
no, just
Demi
Gab-
Moore,
just-
Prince Diane, and all them
just-
rich.
Just Gabor, check him out. He does a lot of content, especially on hot topics and Bravo and stuff like that. But anyway, no, Gabor told me, and I'll never forget this. I take data points and then I apply them to life. He said that in the beef sector, there was somebody who talked about a child that they had that was special needs. As soon as they got into a beef with somebody,
Stop it. For real?
I mean, how much is this censored? Am I allowed to say certain words?
You can say whatever you want.
The person in the beef sector said, "And that retarded ass baby."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dirty. I don't mean to laugh, but that is crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah, so I'm very
That's
protective.
awful.
I'm very protective of my.
I don't like
I'm
that.
very-
That's so dirty.
That's the reality.
Oh my God.
So you could think that you're sharing with your subscribers, but there is a certain amount of people who will watch you to hate watch. So the minute that something goes on, the first thing they're going to bring up is the things that you are most vulnerable with. Additionally, I've also had like a stalker situation. So
Who was stalking you, Mims?
I had a stalker situation
For real?
in real life.
Mims, were they popping up where you live?
Now that my mom,
You don't have to tell us
No,
where you
I
live,
mean,
but
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying.
Now that my
Were they like
no.
popping up where you
Now
live?
that my mom is likely to watch this, I'm just gonna leave it at I had a stalker situation, and
Oh, hey, Mom.
literally this is
What's funny about
this
that?
is James 24/7.
What? Hey, Mom. Hello. But were
yeah,
they like popping up where you live?
I don't want to get into the stalker situation.
For
Just
real?
The more you talk about things like that, the more that
You gonna tell me off camera?
yeah, absolutely. They're more
I wanna
inclined to
know.
like pop back up.
Cause I'm good for a stalker. Your crew run. Your crew run.
So yeah, so that's the reason. But also, when you're giving commentary, you really want people to understand the way you think. I think that
Sometimes I forget I'm a journalist. This is part of why I'm just praying. I'm asking God to really work on me because I sometimes I have a hard time controlling my hands.
his mouth
and
especially. James has a mouth.
This is not my interview. This is yours.
And they can see from this interview.
Let's move on. So you came here because not too much. Next thing you know, you be done choked on that Fiji water.
Case in point.
And I don't know whether or not
Case
I'll
in
be the one to call 911. Be done called on Jesus and see whether or not you get saved. Let's move on to the Diddy trial. See, there I go again. Lord, Lord, if I find favor in your sight.
Yes, work on him, please.
I don't need no help. My prayers make it to the Lord. All right, let's move on to the Diddy trial.
Okay.
So you came to New York to cover the U.S. v. Sean Combs trial. Obviously, now we know the verdict. This is the very first time in New York that anyone has ever, and I'm smiling because it's crazy, anyone has ever beat a racketeering case in the
Really?
Southern District of New York. Yes, that's right. Anyone has ever. And Maureen Comey is sick. Honey, them bags under that. Them bags. It's like Erica said, bag a lady, you gon' miss your bus.
I love Erica Badu.
You can't hurry up. You got too much stuff. I'm a little hoarse, but that's all right. What's been the craziest element of the experience thus far? You're going to tell yours, and then I'm going to tell mine.
So, like I said, I come from corporate America.
That was years ago. Now you're a full-fledged YouTuber. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, I'm a full-fledged YouTuber, content
Right.
creator, and I'm in the media now. Legacy Media never wants to admit that. Legacy Media never wants to admit it.
Hey. I'm not.
Now you see. We were going to talk about that. Okay.
I'm not saying you.
Let's get into the weeds.
Hey.
Look at that visceral reaction. So new media, legacy media. Get into the response.
Don't get nasty. Don't get nasty, friend.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're not a part of the. Hey.
He couldn't even say the word.
Okay, not too much.
He couldn't even
Not
say
too much. I'm not
The
saying
writer
that.
couldn't say the word.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, have another sip of water. 'Cause you're thirsty. I'm not saying you're not a part of legacy media or the media, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know, I lost my train of thought, Jesus. But I'm just saying, like B. Simone said, Jesus. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you kind of volunteered yourself. I just don't know.
There you go.
I just don't know. But, you know, go ahead, finish your thought. It just kind of took me off. It took me off.
So this would be considered like probably the biggest case, I would say, almost since OJ.
I agree.
And the amount of public interest, because technically legacy media was treated like public, especially that first week.
Yes.
And they weren't accustomed to that. So I'm not gonna lie, I heard later on that a lot of people just thought that I was a part of legacy media, and maybe that's why I was involved in conversations that technically a lot of new media wasn't like privy to.
But you also didn't carry yourself like how, like you weren't outside fighting, threatening to, you know, like snatch somebody up, like, you know, like how a lot of some of your colleagues were. Like, I mean, it was very ghetto.
It was a little niggerish.
Right.
It was a little niggerish.
It very much so was. It was like a jungle outside. It made me wonder how I keep from going under. Like it was very just bad. It was very bad.
I would agree. So the most surprising part was sitting back and watching the differences between legacy media, new media, and the general public.
What was the biggest difference to you?
What I will say is a positive about people in legacy media, like James just said, they have specific training and education that they go through to ensure that they're not connected emotionally to the case. And even when they are, technically they're not really supposed to show that. So
I'm listening.
No.
I'm not judging you. Why are you looking at me with that grin?
I can't smile now, y'all.
I didn't say that. I was just asking you a question.
I like to sit back and watch. I like to observe. Mm-hmm. And the story was Diddy, but the side story was all of the interpersonal relationships.
Yes.
I met so many people on both sides that I exchanged contact information with, developed a rapport. We'll probably see them at future cases. That's the positives. The negatives are there are a lot of people in new media who do not see it for legacy media. to the point where a major correspondent pulled me to the side because she started crying. And she was like, I've never in my life experienced anything like this. And my anxiety was up one time. One time people encircled me as soon as I got out of my car and got in line. The difference is, I guess maybe I'm a 6 foot tall black man and I just told them what I wouldn't tolerate. But for that particular woman, the response that she got in line was too much for her and she just needed a minute to decompress. I would say that would be the negative.
Oh, you didn't tell me that happened?
Yeah.
So they circled you?
Yeah.
When was this?
The Friday before the verdict.
They circled you?
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, you were calling me up to tell me everything else that happened, but you didn't tell me that happened.
I'm sure I did. There was a lot going on all the time, but I give James a hard time, but James is one of those people where if he does care about you, he will
Let's see what he gets ready. Let's see what he's getting ready to say.
He'll be
Let's see what he's getting ready to say, because I'm not. Let's see what he's getting ready to say, y'all. Nasty. Let's see what he's getting ready to say, nasty.
James gets uncomfortable.
Let's see what he's getting ready to say,
when
nasty.
people say positive things, but James will hold you down 10 toes down. And it wasn't just you. There were people from legacy media who, after they found out I was new media, their behavior towards me changed. But there were also people from the new media who tried to get me on certain lists. So I appreciate them. They know who they are.
Okay. You mentioned in past episodes of Make It Make Sense that you've been abused.
Yes.
Have previous testimonies from the witnesses been triggering? Further, are you able to put this into context, their testimonies, while not being biased? And as a third part to this question, as a YouTuber and not a journalist, do you think that you have been unbiased when reporting the US v. Sean Combs trial, now that it's over and we do have a verdict?
As sad as it is to say, I'm probably desensitized to some of the abuse type topics.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example. I was on the phone with a friend and I was just kind of relaying some of the things, and I was told, sometimes talking to you, my anxiety goes up because
talking to who?
My friend.
Okay.
Because
I thought you was getting ready to say talking to me, as if talking to me makes your blood pressure go up. Is that what you was trying to say? I was asking if that's what you were saying. That's all.
Did y'all see how that wrapped around
if that's what you were saying.
No.
That was all. I just wanted to know if you were trying to say that talking to me made your anxiety go up. Isn't that what it sounded like he was saying? But okay, back to you.
No, yeah, see how that wrapped right. But no, so having these conversations, people have a real reaction to it.
They do.
I have so many conversations now with sexual assault survivors. Like my abuse was not sexual. So I can acknowledge that we, both have had abuse in our lives, but for a sexual assault survivor, it just doesn't. I can't speak to what a sexual assault survivor could go through. So that's one factor of why I don't think that it triggered me. And the other factor is I've had so many conversations with people who have gone through so many horrible things that I have become desensitized to some of it. Like, I literally talked to my therapist about that. Like, is that normal? But what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
Was it triggering? Have you been able to report in an unbiased way? And
Yes.
From the outside looking in, now that we have a verdict, when thinking about your coverage of the trial?
I would honestly say that I did give an unbiased coverage of this particular trial. My subscribers know I do not see it for Diddy in any way, shape, or form.
That doesn't sound unbiased to me.
I can dislike you and talk about the merits of the case in an unbiased way. So if you go through my comments or any of the people who've reached out to me directly, that's what they say, for the most part, they appreciate it. I did give an unbiased approach to the merits of the case and how the defense or prosecution did for that day. And I'm very proud of that because I don't like Diddy. So although I'm rooting for the charges that were accurate, because I will say that there was some overreach.
Such as?
I thought the forced labor was going to be a tough sell. I've said that from the beginning. And I also thought for the average person, unless you can convey exactly all the different what all the different elements of sex trafficking is, it's going to be a tough sell for a normal person who has just a normal boyfriend or girlfriend to understand how you might have sex trafficked your partner.
Without making money from it.
Yes, I did think that certain things were going to be extremely tough sales for the prosecution. But there were other merits to the case that I'm still annoyed and angry that didn't get the attention that they deserve, because he was allowed to walk around like a gangster for years. Your boss should never be able to come to your home with goons and weapons and make you do things. That's just how that got lost in the sauce. It's crazy.
Was it worth it coming to New York to cover the trial? Would you do it again?
If I did it, it would definitely be in a different way. I probably spent upwards of around $20,000 in the last 2 months covering this trial.
I know you lying.
I'm not lying.
I know you lying.
I'm not lying.
What?
Even like the first week I was down here, it was graduation season. So a super small a super small hotel with literally any available space had a suitcase in it. That cost, I think, around like $3,500 for that 1 week. So yeah, it was a lot of money to be here. I would definitely do it in a different way. But I do see myself covering cases in the future.
That gives me anxiety.
It was a lot of money,
That
I'm not
gives
gonna
me
lie.
anxiety. Oh, What were your thoughts about the verdict? You just got into it a little bit, but I'm going to ask you in detail. And where race is concerned, could in that instance Sean Combs have been a victim?
As a black man, I'm not gonna sit here and say that there aren't. Although I don't like Diddy, anything that's an overreach, I'm gonna call it out, because I am a black man and I do know that the rules aren't in our favor.
This is true.
So I'm not gonna not acknowledge that. Without murdering somebody, 50 years
Or life.
or life, that's a strong sentence. Do I think that he raped people based on their testimony? Absolutely. Do I think that he had an organization? Because it's not just about these sex parties or hotel freak offs or whatever he wants to, call it that year or that girl. There should never be a time where you use your power and influence to try to destroy people, to motivate them to do sexual things. There's so many cultural elements to this case that I don't think the prosecution was actually able to reach the jury with. There probably should have been somebody on the prosecution team who was a person of color who could speak to the jury in a way that they could more understand the charges. I think that was missing. I think that Diddy's attorneys did a really good job of conveying to the media that this was only a case of personal use drugs, that the government was trying to go after a black man, and that Cassie and Jane were basically just gold diggers who are mad now that they're not in the mix. I don't believe that's the case, but I do think that the defense team did a really effective job at conveying that, and that's a problem.
Okay. One of the men who was hired during the freak-offs Cassie had with Diddy is suing the both of them, claiming that the singer gave him an STD and forced him to take drugs, among other things. Is he a victim? And with you being pro-victims, where do you stand on this new development? He is seeking $10 million.
I do try to amplify the voices of victims. So I have not read that particular complaint yet. I did see a video that he made. Actually, I stumbled on his Instagram channel and watched multiple videos that he made. It is important to say that both men and women can be victims, and most times when men are victims, they're not really seen, their claims aren't seen as valid. Or yes, I do think that he is a victim. So I think what makes me a little different than other content creators is I can choose to amplify the voices of victims, but I'm still going to give it to my subscribers straight. On its face, anybody who's alleging that they had an STD from a sexual encounter and that they're owed money is a victim, right? Like on its face. But there are certain things that he said that the MO is not there.
Such as?
He alleged that he had an ongoing relationship with Cassie afterwards. That's not the typical MO. If you were there for the testimony. What Cassie alleged she was told to do was to speak to these men nice, turn them on, keep them coming, to keep Diddy's supply of baby batter going. We've not heard from anyone else that they had a specific ongoing relationship with Cassie the way that he alleges. That's not the typical MO. And I'll give another example. I got into it with the sexual assault survivor that I'm cool with in regards to one of the civil complaints from a young man who said he was at a white party in the Hamptons and Diddy assaulted him next to a porta potty. And I said, I see this complaint, but I've also seen 50 to 60 other complaints. Anything that involved a man was never in the public space. So I could not, even though this person alleged to be a victim, in good conscience, not point out that this is not the typical MO. It doesn't mean that people can't stray from something, but that to me made it a little bit, we needed to look a little bit deeper with that, because a lot of these complaints don't have physical evidence, don't have witnesses. So for me personally, I have to look at a person's MO. Then you can kind of look at the credibility of the person speaking. So you are alleging that Cassie had an abortion for you. So with your complaint,
was it for him or was it for Sean Combs? Allegedly.
No, he alleged that this was his child.
No, I mean, was it at his request? Was it at Sean Combs' request?
Well,
according to the complaint, he did not know about the abortion.
But the interview that he gave said that Cassie was
pregnant.
We'll just say allegedly.
Right, allegedly pregnant.
Because I haven't read the complaint, but Cassie was allegedly pregnant by him, not by Diddy.
Of course.
So in discovery, and they pull Cassie's records, we should see an abortion for him. You know that for sure?
No, I mean, obviously in discovery, we will see that.
Or there may not be anything to discover. One thing that, and I know it's horrible to be desensitized to some of these things, but one thing that I learned is that in demand letters, an attorney can basically have as many claims as they want, send it to your attorney, and if you're a big enough name, you may pay to get this to go away. You might settle. So I don't have the belief in civil complaints like I used to. I don't know if that's bad to say as somebody who wants to amplify the voices of victims, but now I look through everything with the fine-tooth comb. I reach out to attorneys and say, does this make sense? All the time I'm on the phone with attorneys as well about these complaints. So for this particular man, I want to read the complaint, and I definitely want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but some of the things just sounded so very different than some of the other escorts have said. Also, and last thing about this, with the escorts.
By all means.
If Cassie testified that Diddy told her that she needed to have a certain rapport with these people, and some of them even believed that they had a friendship when that was not the case, I don't blame any of the escorts for believing that they were special to Cassie and or Jane or any of these other women, because that was technically the quote unquote fantasy that Diddy had and that they were fulfilling for him. So I could see some of them really believing that they had relationships with Cassie or relationships with Jane and maybe even Gina or whatever. We don't really technically know because she didn't show up to court. But yeah, I don't blame them for feeling like they had relationships, but his went much further than any of the other ones have said. So that does give me some pause.
Okay. Last question, and then we're going to play a quick game.
Okay.
But make it make sense. YouTube is one thing. Where's the brand going?
I lightly tapped on this. So there are a lot of people who reach out to me, a lot of companies that reach out to me that want to work with me, but I'm more comfortable building my own, I'm more comfortable building my own relationships with certain brands that I believe in. And so there are some content creator things that I would like to do with major brands that I feel like I want to give back. There's so many things that I see that I want to like tap people on the shoulder and say, you're like kind of treading on thin water. You might need this type of protection. There are some brand deals that I hope to get very soon that would also benefit other content creators, not just YouTube, but TikTok. There are people making a lot of money off this and they are not protected. So I want to do some brand collaborations.
More philanthropy.
I always feel like to whom much is given,
much is required. So we're going to play a quick game. It's called Make It Make Sense. Who was really wrong, and is there room for reconciliation? Obviously, the game is in honor of MIMS, who's here sitting right next to me. As you can see, he's perpetually drinking water because MIMS is thirsty, right? Okay.
That's not the takeaway.
So I've come up with some topics.
Fresh and hydrated.
Dehydrated. So I've come up with some topics based on what's trending in the media. Obviously, some of them.
How many of us have them?
Once we can depend on. So I've come up with some topics based on what's trending in the media. Mims and I, we rarely agree on anything. Somehow it works. So we'll see how ugly it gets. Some of us need more help than others. We're going to start at the top. I thought we were going to start at the bottom, but we're going to start at the top.
Okay.
All of Diddy's girlfriends versus Gina Han.
All of Diddy's girlfriends.
Why?
Gina can kick rocks.
Oh, why?
I did not like that TMZ found her right before the verdict, and she basically backtracked on everything that she had told Tasha K around 6 years ago in an interview.
Do you think they knew where she was all along?
It's my belief that TMZ is in bed with Diddy.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Well, so technically, in the interview with Tasha K, Gina describes a situation where she was upset with Diddy. She's doing this interview. Diddy's upset with her. And TMZ put out a story by her own admission that she was now involved with Tristan Thompson, who had a baby with Chloe or whatever the inner workings of that were. So now juxtapose that to 2025, where your first interview is given to TMZ and you are basically saying that you've never felt that you were in danger around Diddy, which is in stark contrast to what you told Tasha K 6 years ago, around 6 years ago.
She did say that. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right.
So she can kick rocks.
She did say that. So during the testimonies during the trial, obviously that brings you here to New York, several people testified that Gina was a nuisance even, that Jane said that she terrorized, different relationships that Sean Combs had. Now, ironically, a family friend, and I believe she was Kim Porter's friend, Lala, gave a interview to TMZ and said that Jane was a nuisance to Diddy's family, and that Kim Porter's children especially couldn't stand Jane and didn't want her around. So I asked the question about Gina versus all of Diddy's girlfriends because it sounds to me like all of them were problematic. And the thing is, Cassie included, they all were, none of them were really with him when he was single. They all knew about each other. So the gag is...
And according to Misa, so did Kim Porter and so did Sarah.
Right.
So it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right.
Misa said that they were all friends back when Misa was dating Diddy.
Right. Down on my luck, back against the wind, trying to make it, no way to win. En Vogue versus Dawn Robinson.
I like Dawn.
I love Dawn.
I like Dawn.
All of their biggest hits have Dawn on the lead.
I didn't really know too much about the En Vogue Dawn until I saw something called R&B Divas.
Right.
And that really gave you some insight into who Dawn is as a person, and she's very fragile. She's very fragile. So
okay, not too much. What do you mean by fragile? Do you mean weak?
No, fragile in the sense, the industry...
Sensitive.
The industry has made her that way. Like, you've been in two major groups and you feel violated by both. So she's fragile.
Okay.
It's totally off topic, but when I found out she was living out of her van, I actually reached out to Kelly and we were going to see if there was something maybe that we could do to assist.
Like Kelly Price?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because she knows her. They filmed a show together.
They're very close.
They filmed a show together. And before any of that happened, Dawn did an interview where she said she was where she wanted to be. So there was no need to, continue that particular conversation. But if I could have helped in any way or my subscribers could have helped, we definitely would have.
Okay. During the Diddy trial, Misa Hilton, she popped up.
Yeah, she did.
Twice, that I can remember.
Where's your scooter?
That's so nasty.
That's what she.
That's so nasty.
She has a scooter.
The first time, but the second time that baby was walking. She was walking.
Right off the surgery table.
You take another sip. But when she was walking this time, she had Vada with her. Now, I'm bringing this one up.
Okay.
Misa Hilton versus Mary J. Blige.
Just based on the complaint, Misa. Well, again, we're going to see in discovery because Misa alleges to have text messages and other verifiable proof that Mary J. Blige and her boyfriend bodyguard tried to steal her client. And, so if she can show the proof, definitely Misa. But Mary J. Blige is one of my favorite artists.
Mary reminds me...
And I give Misa a hard time. I give Misa a hard time because I give everybody a hard time. But if you follow me, I'm one of the few people who gives Misa credit for what she has done for the industry. there would not be Jodeci or a Mary J. Blige or a Little Kim styled the way that they were and making such an impact on fashion as they did in the early 90s if it wasn't for Misa. I always give her credit.
That is very true. That is, of course, very true. You know, Mary has not made a statement yet about this lawsuit. Mary is not. Why are you smirking like that?
Because I like Mary J. Blige, and I know that a lot of times when people have a very hard life, it hardens them. But the last few videos that I've seen of her interacting with fans, it stank.
You talking about when her sister said Mary ain't signing S-H-I.
Yeah, that and there's other.
But
videos
that was
out.
LaTanya DaCosta, not Mary. Why is her sister
Speaking for her. But
Well,
no, I've
her
seen other
sister,
instances.
her sister is her manager. Her sister is her manager.
Before I knew the way things worked, I remember a distinct story of Mary being in some store in New York, and there was a girl who wanted some $800 boots. And Mary paid for those boots because the girl couldn't afford it. And I remember thinking, wow, you know, that's a full circle moment for somebody, but that's the way the media works. They want those type of stories out about people because it did just what it did for me. I thought, wow, that's really great. I love when people extend themselves like that. But now that social media or the advent of social media, you can't really get away with how you actually treat people. And that's nasty. There's not one person who comes up to me that I don't speak to. A lot of times they get a shot of Casamigos if we're in a setting where there's liquor.
We know you love Casamigos.
But anytime that you are solely dependent on the public and they support you, you should want to embrace them. And I don't respect when people don't.
What if Mary was tired that day? Because Mary be on that stage like, Lord, I'm running, trying to make 199 and a half.
Don't get me wrong, if you're eating dinner,
like she's exhausted.
if you're eating dinner with your family or you know you're around your kids and maybe today is not the day, I get it. But when your soul, I love Mary, but I don't like any celebrity who treats their fans a certain way. If you can't smile, and
But
nod,
Mary didn't say it. Her sister.
there's multiple videos.
Her sister
You're
said
just
it.
talking about one video. There's multiple
Her
videos.
sister said it. Her sister, LaTanya DaCosta.
I just watched the video where Mary talks about that she's hard, and she knows that she's hard, and she
Mary
actually
has been through hell and big.
So have you. So have I.
Don't be putting my business out there. So have you, James.
The whole point.
How dare you?
So have you. So have I, and so has everybody who.
I've had a very perfect life.
So have you. So have I, and so has anybody who might watch this.
America.
We all go through.
America.
We all go through things.
I've not gone through anything.
We all go through things.
I have white privilege. How dare you? When this is over, as soon as this camera goes off, I'm gonna get you for that.
What was the next matchup?
How dare you?
What was the next
So
grudge
have
match?
you.
We all have issues.
You
We all
know,
have problems. You said that Mary had a hard life. I don't think that that is in any way, shape, or form an excuse.
Mary
not
has
to
had an
acknowledge-
abnormally hard life.
Okay.
I'm gonna hurt you for that. A. Marie versus the eardrums of America.
I'm gonna give it to the.
It's
eardrum.
just one thing you got me tripping.
I'ma give it
wow, 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 wow,
I'm gonna give it to the eardrums.
wow, wow.
The eardrums
Wow,
of
wow.
America.
Why?
Because I don't know what that was.
I feel like you being mean, man.
You pay, to my knowledge, you pay to be on the Tiny Desk.
Oh, you do?
You pay for the background people. You're paying for all of these things.
I feel like those background girls set her up.
They won't ever sing in this industry again, so how could they set her up? I don't know if that was her cousins that maybe she paid, or maybe something. I don't know.
That's very divisive of you to say.
I don't know what that was, but I'm gonna go to the eardrums of America.
That's very divisive
I
of you
love
to say.
Anne-Marie, but Did you do a sound check with them?
I like the way she looks. I'm gonna tell you what.
I think she has a nice voice, but I think that
You
those
do?
background singers didn't do her any.
Well, then that means that you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna tell you what, Mims.
But I'm nasty. What was the next match? What was the next matchup?
Down the hatch. I'm gonna tell you what. Somebody had said this to me. Shout outs to Taria Mitchell, a real singer. You cannot. That song, you know, like we're talking 20 years ago. You cannot sing. Anybody can't. Like you cannot. Those songs vocally, anybody, Aretha, Beyonce, your voice, it's not going to be the same register. You have to change keys. And so the vocal producer, the music director, he should have had the musicians. She was trying to execute that song in a way that the notes would have been the same. You can't do that. Everybody's voice changes after a decade or two. Kiki Wyatt would have been doing the same thing. Fantasia. There are interchangeable, like you can't do that. She was trying to, like, it shows a lack of training. She needed to try to change keys. She just was trying to, it's like she just said, okay, y'all, come on, let's do this. I'm gonna just go ahead and win.
It definitely from a business angle hurt her. Because as I understand it, she's doing more live performances. So if it had worked in her favor.
Who keeps hiring her?
She has a fan base.
She does. She's a gorgeous girl. She's so pretty.
She has a very strong fan base.
She's so pretty.
But from a business angle, this probably hurt her more than, because now people are looking for her to mess up.
I think now a lot of y'all don't care about how people sound. You know what I mean? And so, you know, a lot of the young people, they just care about y'all want to live free and die hard. You know, but back in the day, honey, you know, because now we got these singers, they have anxiety attacks. You babies just, y'all, you know, if y'all don't feel right, because if it's raining outside, honey, y'all can't take it. Y'all just, I'm not going on. I can't take it, honey, because every day it rains. And so, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, but back in the day, honey, when things got bad, you did a line of coke and you got on that stage and you did what you had to do, okay?
But those people aren't around anymore, so please don't let that be your story.
Amen. Glory to God. Amen. Phaedra Parks versus Angela Oakley. Because you know Phaedra, she hired that guy that said he knew Charles Oakley cheated on her.
You said who, Creonta versus Angela?
I said Phaedra.
Phaedra Creonta Parks?
I said Phaedra. Phaedra, you told. It's the see, this is what,
I don't really watch the show like I used to, but from what I've seen, definitely Angela. Definitely Angela.
Now, see,
I saw a
friend,
clip.
I knew we were going to agree on something, friend. Yeah. See, every now and then we do agree on something, right?
As far as I see Angela on this show, Angela represents probably what the Housewives was meant to be, whereas a lot of the new people on any of these reality shows, they know the formula, so they try to fit the part. Whereas Angela just kind of like does. You probably could have put Angela on the original cast of the show.
Are you referring to Britt Meady?
That's an interesting situation. Anybody who was gonna be the den mother for Stevie J in a house full of penthouse girls probably shouldn't be on a housewife show.
That was nasty.
That's the reality. She was going to be the den mother for a project that Stevie J was working on with, I think, Penthouse.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. You can Google the clips.
Dang, I ain't know that.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I will. Remy Ma versus Papoose.
Neither.
Don't scrunch your face.
Neither.
Don't do the Queen of NY. Like, really?
Is she?
Don't do the Queen of NY. Hey.
She's the Queen of New York?
Hey. Remy raps better than most niggas. Now,
I would never. Remy and Papoose are very talented, but that's not the question.
Okay, but we're not talking about Pat.
So was this your
we
question
talking about Remy.
or was it mine?
We not
was
talking
it your
about,
question or was it mine?
Did I not say that I was going to
was it your
insert?
question?
Did I not say? Did I not say that I was going to chime in if I felt like? I did say that.
You didn't. You're not
that I was going to chime in if I did not like what you were going
my
to
response.
say. I'm not trying to pepper your response.
I'm sorry.
This is not
Remy,
paprika. This is not paprika. We're not talking about pepper steak. Yeah, we're talking about
neither. I don't like when people who have small children bring the media into some of the most like personal things of their life. I don't like that. I don't like that because eventually it gets back to the kids, and they've said like some really ugly things and made very ugly insinuations. So no, I don't like it.
Do you want any children?
Eventually, yeah.
Are you dating currently?
No, single.
So far, all you've given me is nastiness and sarcasm. All right. One of the last things is, I don't want to hear, one of the last things is my best-selling book, Knowledge of Self, A Guided Journal by James R. Sanders. And with each guest, we always go into a journal prompt and we ask each guest a question. So with MIMS, we are going to do the exact same thing. And we just pick the question at random. So let's see. Okay. Okay, this is a good one. It's always easier to point out the faults of others, but acknowledgement of your own wrongdoings is another story. Let's see. What is a recent mistake you made? What happened? And what could you have done to change the situation? Oh, and before you answer, Knowledge of Self, A Guided Journal by James R. Sanders is available everywhere books are sold, including jamesrsanders.com, period.
I would say a recent mistake that I made was coming to New York without any real knowledge of what it meant to live in New York. I should have had this planned out so much more better. Like I should have done this probably months in advance.
I tried to school you. Why didn't you? I tried to help you.
Is that in the book too?
About what? So me trying to help you? Well, don't get smart.
You're right.
See, but what did I say about the nastiness and the sarcasm? I tried to tell y'all, very nasty, mean.
I just asked if that was the follow-up question in the book.
Take another sip. Thirsty.
Hydrated, actually.
Dehydrated. But yes, you should have planned.
I should have planned better, definitely. But there was a lot going on in my personal life. That is one thing that people don't understand. I operate at a very high level, but that is very true. That's one of those things where how much can I?
You can say whatever you want here.
Okay.
So, you're so private. But you can say whatever you want here. We got the ancestors.
A lot of people operate at high levels. Like you go through things and you have to go to work. But one of the things that I went through was losing like one of my very best friends and having to show up the next
Shout outs
day.
to her. We love her. Gorgeous girl.
People, subscribers, friends, family. It was like you have a job to do and you have to do it. Whereas a lot of people, if you lose like one of your big support systems, you may not go to work the next day. I didn't really have that option. And not only did I go to work the next day, I listened to very graphic details of the lowest and darkest points of somebody's life. Then after that, spent another 2 hours conveying what happened, and then just went to bed and started the next day. So the expectation sometimes that people have of you may not necessarily be realistic, because at the end of the day, I am just like human. But I really wasn't afforded the ability just to even decompress.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. So, not at all.
And I'm not saying that other people don't go through that, but in my normal everyday life, I probably would have just needed a couple days because that was like a sudden death.
I understand.